if you're ever anything like me, bad things have happened in your life, right? And you prayed. And you prayed in the moment of crises, conflict, stress, violence, what have you. And that prayer made a difference, right? And as you've grown, or as I've grown, one of the things I realized is I'm praying the same prayer that saved my life on the streets when I was 16. And I'm praying that same prayer at 50. So I want to talk to you about updating your prayers. I got a lot of feedback, a lot of really amazing feedback about a video I did called Going from Healed to Whole. Okay. And it inspired me because I'm like, okay, God, I didn't take it as serious. But the thing that I realized as I read the comments and emails and all the things, right, was that there is a way to get to wholeness that I'm experiencing. I'm not saying it's the only way. I'm not saying it's the best way. I am saying that there is a path, there is a structure to moving from healing to wholeness. And I'm going to encourage you to share the video. So, because it may help somebody. It really might. And you could be the difference for someone's life. Okay. So I've never not had God. So God's been with me in the ugly of life. And I realized that if you go through any kind of trauma, so let me put it like this, for all my trauma chicks and bros, if you've ever gone through some things, in the moment of crises, there's an urgency, there's a simplicity to the prayer. God help me. That was mine. And there's a fervor to that prayer. Whenever life happens, I find myself going to that prayer. God, please help me. Please help me. It's the simplicity, the urgency of a 16-year-old. When I get scared or overwhelmed or when my PTSD kicks in, right? I pray, God, please help me. Help me, Lord. God, please help me. And it's that fervor. Does that make sense? Now, here's the thing I need you to understand. That's a great prayer. Keep that prayer. Okay? Keep that prayer. Don't get rid of that prayer. I'm not 16 anymore. I'm not on the streets anymore. I'm not in harm's way anymore. I'm not fair game for people anymore. Does that make sense? So the prayer I'm praying is still the energetic of a vulnerable 16-year-old person who has no protection. When I get threatened, when I feel like I'm back on the streets again, I get younger. I lose language. I lose cognition. I can't talk. Nothing comes out. Do you see what I'm saying? So my prayer is rooted in the age of 16. I heard this thing. I've heard Spirit saying I heard this guy. His name is Steve Furnick. He's a preacher, and I think South Carolina or North Carolina. He's dope. I listen to TD Jakes more than him, but I like his word. He deals with a lot of anxiety stuff, so I'm really here for it. And I remember hearing him say something a few years back. It was like a 2-minute clip, and I don't know what it was or what. I don't know what sermon he was doing, but I remember him saying, "God, this is what I remember. I'm saying it wrong." He said, "God, I don't want you to take the lion from me. I want you to give me the courage to fight the lion." That is so dope. So as a 16-year-old who's powerless and defenseless, all I could do is ask for help. Does it make sense? Please don't hurt me. God, help me. But as a person who's 50, who's not in that situation, none of that. What if it wasn't about God help me, but God give me the courage, the strength, the power to fight the lion instead of getting help to get away from the lion? And I realized that I needed to update my prayers. Do you understand? I'm not helpless anymore. I am a powerful woman, but I have handicaps. You see what I'm saying? I have special needs, right? And so to upgrade my prayer life to match who I am, not who I used to be, changes how I see myself. And so if you're committed to going from healing to being whole, you may want to look at how you're praying. You may want to look to see if you're praying from a wounded place, a crisis place. You may want to really check up on it. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying that's what I realized in my own spirit, right? And I realized that I'm not in danger anymore. I saw TD Jakes talk about, I put it up, intentional floods, and he's talking about the president of Ukraine. And the United States said, do you need help with, do you need evacuation? And the president of Ukraine said, no, I need ammunition. That was dope. That was so fire to me because he was saying he's not going to give up his home. You see what I'm saying? He's not going to give up his family. He's not going to do that. And so it really was very sourceful to me because he wasn't trying to get help. He was looking for the tools to stand for himself, to walk in his authority, to take care of his country, to not be bullied by Russia. You know what I'm saying? And that is what I'm out for you to hear. Are you praying in such a way that's rooted in the woundedness, or are you praying in terms of God's faithfulness? And so I've been really contending with, okay, God, what's the key to moving from healing to wholeness? And it has to do with faith. Developing a different kind of faith that is rooted in God's bigness, not the bigness of the problems. So when I'm saying, God, please help me, I'm saying it like I'm powerless, like the problem is bigger than me. But when I say, okay, God, give me the strength, the courage, the fortitude, the perseverance, the wellness to actually win at whatever you're committed that I win at. That's me focusing on the bigness of my God, not the circumstances don't matter. They don't have any power in the face of that kind of bigness. Is it time for you to upgrade your prayer life? You figure it out for yourself. I don't know, and it may not be. But I put some links in. I put an audio in that was really great about prayer. It was a simple thing that I thought was dope that really helped me. And I also put in a link from therapy because, like I said, I have a new therapist. She's talking about somatic, S-O-M, I'm going to say, it's in the link, right? And it talks about how your body stores memories of trauma. And one of the things that happens when I get triggered, I have physiological reactions. Literally, I lose my voice. I panic attacks, anxiety attacks, my body shakes. I can't cognate, right? And she was pointing to that's a function of complex trauma. And it's a whole thing with it, right? But I put a link in there because if you've gone through trauma and you've never heard of this kind of somatic therapy, read about it. But it's a lot of good information that you may not even be aware of that could really support you in your wellness. My point is this: if you're committed to being whole, you got to put in the work. Hands down. It is not pray or hope. No, you got to do the faith without works is dead. Okay. So I'm putting out the things that I am doing so you'll have access to them. So, and the thing is, again, take the pieces that you eat the chicken, spare out the bones. If it feels good to you, if it feels right, explore it. But I want you to have the access. I want you to know what it looks like. Okay. Some of y'all been walking with me for years. So y'all know my walk. Okay. And I'm continuing to walk. I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm out to be whole. And I'm willing to put the time and work in so that I am. And I encourage you to do the same. And it's your choice. But I love that you have the choice. Okay? Okay. That's all I got. That's all I want to share. This is Dr. Bina Chavez, millionaire. Please know that I love you in that agape way. Please know that you are the Alpha and the Omega. You are made in the image and likeness of God. You are God wrapped in flesh. You are the head and not the tail. You are everything right about being a human being. And you're loved. Okay? You are the righteousness of God. So don't doubt you. God got it. And thank you for spending some time with me this morning. I love you, sis. I love you, bro. I love you, allies. That's all I got. Oh, happy sis hi. That's all for now. Please share the video. Goodbye.